Hi Sagittarius, thank you so much for joining me on my channel. My name is Emily Gear. I'm a transformative energy healer and a multi-dimensional channel. I'm here with your weekly reading. Oh, some cards already popped out. I'm going to keep shuffling though because I don't know if I thoroughly shuffled these yet. So this is the week of the eclipse. So I am primarily gearing my reading toward looking at the way the eclipse energies and the new moon energies are affecting you this week. This is a general reading. So if you find that it does not apply to you, then do check your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs, even your north node. And there will also be a link in the description box below that will bring you to an extended reading looking directly at romantic relationships, okay? If you find that you want me to do a personal reading with you, or an energy healing session, an akashic record session, or any combination of the above, because basically I just go with what your record keepers tell me you need at any given time, you can schedule that on my website, which is IamEmilyGear.com, okay? All of those sessions are done by Zoom, or phone if you're more comfortable with that, but I prefer Zoom usually, or in person if you happen to be in the location where I am, which currently is Southern Ohio, but I do go back to New York City at times. So most of my sessions are done by Zoom because I have clients all over the world. Anyway, so welcome. Thank you for being here. I am just shuffling your cards now to ask for messages for Sagittarius for this week, particularly messages involving the energies of the eclipse and the new moon. I also apologize, my foster dog is in the office barking his head off, so I don't know if you can hear him, but he is probably going to make me lose my shit. Okay. So, what I have here is the sun with the Nine of Swords, super like polar opposite energy, the Six of Wands with Justice. I'm just feeling into this to kind of get an idea of where we're going here. I do kind of feel like something in your life which provided you with a lot of joy, a lot of stability, looked so promising, maybe a family or a child or some kind of family life, happy family life. It could be a job, something that provided you with a lot of joy and stability, and you really cherish this thing, is now essentially bringing a lot of anxiety in. And it could be that you want to obviously do the best for this thing. This is something that's highly cherished by you. And so therefore, when we have something with such value, it can cause a lot of anxiety at the thought of either losing it or, it changing or something like that. And I feel like these next two cards here with the Six of Wands and the Justice card, my feeling is that you're being kind of placed in this weird limbo at the moment, of going in between these extremes with the situation, whatever it is. It's like, I'm trying to just really feel, there's something about the situation where there's just such a huge degree of love and joy, and then there's such a huge degree of sadness and fear and anxiety. It almost gives me the impression, so this makes me sick to even think about it because I have 4 senior pets, but it's like when you have a senior pet, right, and you see that they are kind of starting to go downhill and you know that they won't be around much longer, there's this sweetness of having this amazingly sweet, docile, loving pet with you, and then there is the absolute devastation of knowing that they will not be with you much longer. So it's not to say that this is happening for you, okay? I don't want to scare anybody. That was just my own example of something that I could understand that would illustrate this kind of energy. And so your greatest pleasure and your greatest pain almost all wrapped up in one. And the Six of Wands with the Justice card, I really feel like this is Spirit's way of telling you that while that you may feel that you are stuck in this weird limbo space, this very uncomfortable space right now, that the end result will be in your highest and best good. So this is first and foremost kind of a pat on the back, just sort of validation of your feelings, and yet saying that it's going to be okay, all right? Let's see what else wants to come out here. Well, we've got the Knight of Wands with the King of Pentacles. So I feel like a lot of your focus right now may be on stabilizing different pieces of your life, like in the physical sense, like trying to shore up a job or pay off loans or take care of, you know, money type issues or property type issues. I always feel like you may be in a little bit of a rush to do that. And I don't know if it relates back to this huge, what's the word for that? Seeming contradiction here with the pleasure and the pain together. But I do feel like you're doing your best to get things in order. And they're still giving me this imagery of like end of life type stuff. So it could be that and I'm not saying that anybody's life is ending here, but it could be that this is the end of a cycle, and therefore that is the metaphor they're using for this. This is like getting your affairs in order somehow. But again, all for the highest and best good, and to balance out these karmic scales. You're clearing karma right now. So if you have been in a long-term relationship, which is kind of the source of pleasure and pain, something there is winding up, is clearing up. This could be a friend. There's some kind of one cycle ending, and the obvious is that another begins then. So you will have a better idea of how that feels for you, how that might apply to your life. But getting the affairs in order is something that is important right now on a physical level. So we're talking, again, they were mentioning again, paying off loans. That might be something that you're doing. Paying off a house. I'm getting like big stuff like that, big money things. What else wants to come out for Sagittarius for this coming week? With regards to the eclipse energy and new moon energy, please. Something flipped. Oh, good God. Okay. There's a lot that flipped. We'll take them though. So we have the Page of Swords. We have the Four of Swords. We have the Death card. The King of Wands. How did I know this was going to come up for you? The Four of Pentacles. I just knew that was coming up. The Nine of Pentacles. And finally, the Ace of Cups. So what I'm getting from this, I think you've been in this like really uncomfortable standstill, uncomfortable rest. I'm saying rest because that could mean this, but it's more of like a standstill. Like it's this place of no movement. it's almost like you're a turtle that's pulled your head into your shell, and you are just being like, I don't see this, I don't hear this, I don't see this. It's like a willful, somewhat childish refusal to see the situation that is taking place. I feel like this is in the past up to maybe the present. But what I feel like is coming in here is we've got the Death card with the King of Wands. And this is really about, the Death card is always or often about transformation. And so I feel like you're transforming yourself, or you are being transformed by these energies that are coming in, or a combination probably of your own choices plus the energies offered to you and playing out through your soul contract. But there is this forward movement, and it's because you're really transmuting this energy of stuckness, of stagnancy, to be more one of personal power, of empowerment. And this is something you've been lacking in your life up to this point. I think that maybe there have been times when it was difficult for you to speak up for yourself, because before you were just this page here. You know, you maybe didn't even value what you had to say or what you knew, your position, you know, your, I don't want to say your position in life, but kind of your position in life. You didn't take into consideration your value. And so it's like that kept you stuck until something created this really potent transitional period. It could be this eclipse, but it could have started a long time ago. I'm getting, you know, just looking at this sun with the 9 of Swords, I feel like that is the kind of energy that transforms a person, where you can realize the blessing in something, but also see where it is not in alignment with you. So I think there's a lot of like recognizing that kind of energy in your life in a way that you have not in the past. It's because in the past, it feels like willfully blind to some of this stuff. So the good news is that you are transforming, you are stepping into your own empowerment. With the 4 of Pentacles coming up here, this is a reevaluate. This is a weird way to read this card for any of you who read cards, but I'm just going to tell you, this is a reevaluation of what is valuable to you, okay? What you're going to keep spending your energy on and what you aren't. And there's a lot of that coming out in readings this week. So I really feel like, you know, there are some new doors opening to us for new assessments of our own personal value, which is coming up in these next cards here. I feel like there's still this fear of letting go of certain things in our lives, this unwillingness, and yet your eyes are being open to a certain truth, and you are being like infused with this kind of cosmic power, and your eyes opened. It's almost like an awakening process, to be totally honest with you. You might be going through another level of awakening, having more gifts come online, whether that be like clairvoyance, clairaudience, even just kind of a intuitive knowing, especially for those of you who are brand new to this. Sometimes that intuitive knowing is that first thing to come online. Just know that you're completely changed by this situation. Whatever it is, you're completely changed by it for the better, okay? And this brings in a new sense of self-worth and self-love. And for some of you, this is opening the door to a new relationship, a new way of relating to people, new way of connecting on the emotional plane with other people in general, but potentially with an individual, okay? This does sometimes come up for me to be like the single woman. So if you're a single female, this could absolutely mean a new relationship coming in. If you're a male, this could absolutely mean a single woman coming in. This is also a woman who often is a business owner, often is really in control of her shit, like in control of her life, in control in some ways. She has built a small empire around her, or him. I mean, it could be a male too, because it's just a woman depicted in the card. But there is a degree of isolation and loneliness to this person. And so this could be you, or this could be the other person. If we are talking about another person, it could even be a job or a group of people who fit that sort of description, okay? There's just a new emotional connection coming online with this person or group of people or whatever, and you. And that has come about through this transformation, because if you would have not done that, you would still be in this willful blindness that you were in before. And I think this process, going from the willful blindness to me, actually they're now making this connection that is the sort of sun, okay? It's almost like ignorance is bliss. That's the ignorance is bliss sort of thing. And that so you're now in this period of awakening, which can feel like insanity. I mean, honestly, awakening can feel like insanity because you're experiencing all this stuff that you have never experienced in your life before. You're bringing in all kinds of new energy, all kinds of new gifts. If you're becoming clairaudient, believe me, you probably think you're crazy right now. You're not. It's just, this is all for your highest and best good, like I said. But that is another gift that's coming online. So this phase, this death and empowerment phase, is where you may be at this time, in combination with this Four of Pentacles, this kind of holding on for dear life to what you can. And I feel like that is bringing in this Nine of Swords energy of just complete, like, this feels like mind blown. This feels like I don't even know what end is up right now, which is completely understandable given the situation. So if that sounds like you, then just know that, first of all, it will calm down. Second of all, you'll get used to it. Third of all, it was in your highest and best good. Again, you're just receiving a new way, a new paradigm, a new way to see the world. And that may be some of this getting your affairs in order business here, because well, it's interesting. I was talking about end of life stuff. You have the death card coming up, which is not about physical death, but it's about sort of the death of a cycle, the death of an old you transforming into a new you. And so it's like the pieces of your life that no longer fit this new you, which you cannot stop from happening with the death card coming up. Death comes to all of us, right? And you can't stop it from coming. Much like this kind of spiritual transformation that's coming in. Holy shit, how am I at 18 minutes? So this is closing up those cycles, getting your affairs in order in relationship to whatever this ignorance is bliss sort of idea is. Whatever you have been willfully blind to. Okay? Since we're already at 18 minutes and I had no idea, I'm going to go ahead and get your oracle card to wrap this reading up, and then we're going to look directly into romantic relationships as it relates to you this week. So let's get an oracle card, please, for Sagittarius. Oracle card for Sagittarius, please, for this week. Oracle card for Sagittarius, please, for this week to cap off this reading. Okay. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? What is your soul calling you to do? What, so this is very clear. You know, your soul is called to this empowerment, this transitional phase, this up leveling, this upgrading. What does that mean for you? That could mean something totally different for everybody. Does this mean changing your career path? Does this mean leaving a relationship? Does this mean starting a relationship? Does this mean moving to a different part of the world or the city or the state or the country, you know, whatever. What is your soul calling you to do? And that is the guiding principle of what direction you should be heading in, with respect to all the things that are changing in your life right now. So just know that this is a huge transition. It is in service of your soul and clearing karmic debts. It is unescapable. In some ways that should feel like a comfort, because then there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do but just flow with it, you know? There's no fighting against it. There's no trying to figure out another way. It's just flowing with it. But the thing that you do need to do is release and allow, flow with the upgrades, and answer that call of your soul, because it's your soul that's initiating this growth. It's your soul and your higher self. I mean, your higher self is your soul, or an aspect of your soul. So just know that this is divinely guided, that the best thing to do is allow, and that it's in your highest and best good in the long run, okay? Now, we're going to go over to Vimeo. If you would like to follow us over to look directly into romantic relationships, use the link below in the info box. And if you find that you would like to set up a private reading with me, or energy healing, or combination of that, all of those things, Akashic Records readings, whatever, then you can reach me at IamEmilyGear.com and schedule right there online, okay? I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.